Pat, before we get to some of your current day, modern day Twins takes, somebody early this morning was down a YouTube rabbit hole and found some Twin takes from you 9 years ago on the sports show. And Declan grabbed the clip here. So, Deck, should we roll the clip here and see what Pat was saying 9 years ago about the Twins?
What was 9 years ago? When was
you were talking about the 2013 Twins with Sid, Mackey, and Lavelle.
Okay.
Here it is.
Next year. Lavelle, who would you put on the cover of the media guide, which is kind of the symbol of who you think represents your team? Seriously. You got Joe Mauer with a question mark because of the concussions, no matter, even though...
Byron Buxton.
If they run Buxton and Sano out there...
I take a picture of the whirlpool. That's what I do. I take a picture. Or I take a picture of the trainer going through the clubhouse asking somebody if they'd think about playing tonight. Would you consider playing tonight? This is the biggest collection of sissies, jackasses. They got a manager who won't tell somebody to play. Why the hell are Pinto and Arcia taking the whole last week off? Play! Robinson Cano misses 2 games a decade, and these jackasses give everybody every game off. Artie says RCA has a sore knee.
Oh, isn't that too bad? God almighty, I hate him. I hate him.
Sid? Unbelievable. Take a break, come back.
Yeah, nothing's changed, right? 9 years later, 10 years later, a decade later, we're still begging them to play. People consider playing. Yeah, that was when Gardy was having to going around the clubhouse taking names for a couple of years there to see if somebody would agree to play or not.
It's an anonymous survey before every game. You don't have to put your name on it. Will you play tonight?
It's gotten worse though, Pat, because now Rocco goes around it, and the guy says, "I can play," and Rocco says, "Let's give it another day or two."
And we got to get off our feet for a couple of days. But the other thing was that Gardy would not sprint out of the dugout if somebody happened to hit a foul ball that missed their foot by a foot. That's he wasn't as quick out of the dugout to make sure that everything was fine as Doc Rock is. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So okay,
that's pretty good. That was, that was about as worked up as I could get on that show, man.
It's pretty worked up.
$325 a week, free money. Paid for my cars. That goofy show. 20 years. That thing lasted 20 years. Unbelievable.
It did. Well, I mean, we could bring it back on YouTube. We got Maxie's got. I mean, all due respect, Maxie's got some more time.
Maxie's available. Yeah, he's available.
Yeah, Lavelle. Lavelle's mustache could maybe make another appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. He must have been going through a phase there in 2013. So last night we had. Red Sox fans and media are not happy. So Xander Bogaerts signs, I think it was an 11-year contract for almost $300 million with the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
The Padres every year just say, here's $250 million more in our pockets.
I heard a bunch of guys, though, talking last night about, like, Soto's got an opt-out after 2 years from now. A bunch of those contracts are expiring, that they basically – it's got to happen this year because they're going to lose half that team, and then Soto will be gone in 2 years probably, or has a chance to be gone. So they went on. They pushed everything in last year, and then Tatis got hurt. They're going to move Tatis to the outfield, supposedly, and going to be the greatest shortstop ever. Now they're going to move him to the outfield, but they're like taking one last big splurge to try to win before they start losing some of these guys. I guess Snell and some of these guys are on the way out too.
So what's the max term? You're in. Apparently, this is what happened with Judge a couple days ago. Is it Hal Steinbrenner and Aaron Judge got into a room and Hal said, "All right, enough of this.
Yeah.
What's it going to take?"
Mm-hmm.
And Judge said, 9 years, 300 whatever it was million. I want the 9th year. So if you're in a room with Carlos Correa and you say, all right, it's just you and me, Joe Polat's not comfortable doing media or being in rooms yet. So he has appointed me as his proxy, Patrick Royce, What's it going to take? What are you doing for Carlos Correa? What's your max?
I will. He's making 36. I'll add 5 years to the deal, and he's got 2 more left, and that'll give him 7 years. He's already on the hook for so what is that? 7 years, 335. So that's it's 245. Probably won't get it done, huh?
No.
7 years, 245. I'm not going much higher.
Uh-uh.
I don't think I can go much higher than that.
That was amazing math, by the way. Really quick on the.
I think
Royce is
odd
great at math.
numbers.
This guy is great at math.
I am. Unlike my long-term partner Suits, who can't add 7 and 4.
Yeah,
It's with that good education he had. But yeah, I'm pretty good at math. I'm always. You know why? Because I was 10 years old looking at batting averages when I was a young kid. But I don't know
what checkbook.
What do you guys think? I mean, you want to go 300 for this guy? I like him, but
here's the problem. So I just as we're talking, I just got an email from sportsbetting.ag with the latest World Series odds. And they got Astros, Dodgers, Mets, Braves, Yankees, Phillies, Padres, Mariners, Jays, Giants, Cardinals, White Sox, Rays, Rangers, Guardians, Brewers, 5 more teams, Twins, 66-1. I guess my question is, what are we doing?
What happens then? What happens then? What happens? You pay him all that, and you're still 66. You're 60-1, right?
Well, you pay him. I guess that's a good point. You pay him, and you're not winning the World Series. But if you don't pay him, what are you doing as a franchise?
Then you're finishing 5th. I think they got themselves in a bind here, but there's got to be a point where you say no. I mean, he's a very good player, but he's, we saw last year that he's not going to put you on his back for a month. I guess he did in September where they went in the tank, by the way. So, he was their best player when they were losing. So I don't know. I like him a lot as a player. I wonder, I'd rather have Bogarts, better hitter. I'd rather have Correa than Turner, but Turner got an 11-year deal. So that's less than 30 million. But I think this guy wants to have more, as I've said before, make more in the individual's years than anybody else. So you got to give him 36, but you can't give him 36 8 times. I don't think. Can you? Yeah,
do you like Swanson, Patrick?
Huh?
Do you like Dansby Swanson at all?
I like him. Yeah, I like. He can play. What's the number supposed to be on him? 100.5 or so.
So he's 28. He's around the same age.
He didn't have a great year last year. He got a little better at the end of the year, but I don't know. Let's face it. Who you tie your wagon to on this club? If you go sign, you spend 160 million for Rodon. Then what happens? Then what are you gonna? Then you're gonna have 2 starting pitchers, right? What? I see very little prospect for this team to be any good. No, even with the with the nucleus they have right now, I don't see it's got a chance to be very good. So, but you'd rather have them try to compete than not. But I don't know.
I think
I'm wrong.
Fans look over too at the Padres, for instance, and I mean a lot of fan bases look at the Padres and say, okay, it's not a Los Angeles market. It's like a suburb 2 hours south of Los Angeles.
But it's the 6th or 7th biggest city in the country too. So,
but they don't bring in. It's not like I don't think they have one of the biggest TV deals.
No,
I don't know if they're taking a loss every year, but they're definitely the most aggressive team, and it's not New York, it's not Boston.
Generally, they got an owner doing that, but generally in the past when they've done it they got the ownership group, but they got different people running it. The one guy from St. Cloud ran it for years. He's not running it anymore. But they usually do that, take the big explosion, and then when it doesn't work, they get rid of everybody and they do it all over again. And I don't know. I don't think the poll ads have an obligation to spend $200 million in payroll when people are not coming to the games like they used to, but you're also charging them too much money to do it. But I don't think there's any obligation to spend that much money.
So if they don't though, what do you sell to, like right now in a competitive market where you're essentially falling off the sports map? That's my question. So like if you don't get Correa, if you don't pay a ton for one player in particular, what are you selling as spring training starts?
Another way to ask that question would be, who's on the media guide for 2022?
Yeah, right.
The New Jersey. That's your answer, Phil. The New Jersey is
all
going
five
to be
of them.
Put Buck
guaranteed.
out there. We can't put Buck out there, can we? We like to
Like a
still bring out.
sling on crutches.
We like to still bring out Buck like he's actually the face of the franchise. You know, they should only have half of his face up there or something, like just show the one side because he's only going to play half the time.
Full body cast.
Yeah, I don't know. I was having lunch with my son about 2-3 weeks after the season. He says, everybody's going nuts about how bad the Twins were and how terrible it was, and he's as negative as anybody. He said they won as many games as we all thought they were going to do when the season started, right? We thought they were going to be 78 and 84, right?
We should hang banners for hitting the over,
Yeah,
the season
right.
total over. That's what we should do.
Yeah, but I don't know what do you guys want to do? I mean, if you bring in Rodon and you bring in Correa, you still don't win. You still don't win the pennant. I don't even think you win the East. The Central. I don't even think you win the Central. Even if
I have another question here, actually. This is a different Twins path. So Declan and I were talking the other day, just kind of off microphone, saying we were just lamenting how much we would love to talk more. We used to talk Twins every day for years and years and years. They were the second most popular team in town. And now, just like to take the audience behind the curtain with podcasting and YouTube and whatnot, we see what audiences like and what they don't. And over the last couple of years, Twins talk has just been, people are mostly apathetic. And we've said, it'd be fun if they made a splash. It'd be fun to just have something to talk about. And then we both agreed, whenever we talk about the Twins, it just turns into us bitching about the Twins for 15 or 20 minutes. And I don't know, how else are you supposed to talk about a franchise though that's in the current state that they're in, unless you just want to be pie in the sky, blindly optimistic? That's what's hard about this.
Yes, and the fact of the matter is that they're the audience is my age. The baseball audience is old. There are people who actually prefer to go see a bleeping soccer game than baseball. People do that intentionally. They go watch that horse crap rather than go to a ball game. So, that's what it's come to, because they get to sing and dance and they don't give a damn who wins or not. The soccer team gets away with not having anybody we don't know. We don't know anybody on the damn team. But it's the atmosphere for now is very popular. So,
and it's quick. It's 2 hours. It's a fun atmosphere.
But it's but then you leave and you don't give a damn who won. That's at least people still get mad when the Twins stink, right? They don't get mad when the Looney Tunes stink, do they? So
the diehards get mad.
What?
I said the Loons diehards get mad.
300 of them. They're over at the Blackheart Bar watching the game.
And they all agree that Heath can't coach.
Yeah,
the gaffer's no good.
Yeah, it is going to really be interesting if baseball's interest in if this attempt to get it moving is going to be successful, but I still don't think that's going to draw the youth there. What's funny is kids are playing baseball in fairly good numbers. The baseball numbers aren't that bad, but they don't watch the games. They don't, they'll watch highlights on YouTube, but they won't sit down and watch a Twins game. So I don't know what they do really.
Hey Patrick, when are we going to stop though? Because I played soccer as a youth in the 70s. And if you recall, it was the sport of the future because all these kids are playing soccer. So surely they're going to become diehard soccer fans.
Yes.
It doesn't translate. Less and less kids are being allowed to play football. That doesn't stop the adults who are stopping their kids from playing football from watching it, and it won't stop the kids from watching it. So as long as you have the requisite amount of players to play, I think this whole thing of, soccer is the next sport. Now this is the next sport. No, not necessarily. Just because you enjoy playing it doesn't mean you'll watch it.
Yeah, well, that's true. The parents all watch their kids play soccer and then get in front of the TV and watch the Vikings on Sunday and screaming. So
where's my beer?
I don't know. It's I don't know what the solution is. Certainly, you'd rather have him sign Correa than not, but I don't think that's going to cause a big explosion at the ticket window. It's funny how I wrote my Turkey Year column. People were nominating Correa. I didn't give it to Correa. I said, what did he do? He only plays for himself. How did they reach that theory? It's amazing how
baseball play. That's kind of how baseball works. You just if you play for yourself and you play well, if you're Barry Bonds, then the team is better off because you played for yourself.
Say they just posted a column. I actually wrote it for today, but they didn't have enough room, so it's going to run tomorrow. But I had fun with this. Billy Martin's ex-wife died, so it's got me going. And Howard Wong's daughter, the little Chinese guy who ran the restaurant out there, was trying to find a number for Betty Allison, and she called Lavelle and blah, 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 because Gretchen Martin, who managed to be married to that weasel for 19 years, I don't know how she did it, was a buddy of the Allisons. Anyway, I ended up writing a column about Billy's relationship with Howard Wong, the oddest fellow, the oddest duo ever in the history of man. This little Chinese guy who was not a big drinker and wore a suit all the time, and drunken Billy, and they were the best of friends for 30 years. It's Mickey Morabito, who's was the Billy's guy, and up with the A's and with the Yankees, and he's still the A's. And I called him, and he said, all-time odd couple. But Howard's daughter was hilarious talking about her relation. He was there when he punched the marshmallow salesman. He was there when Billy punched the sports writer out in Reno. He was like his little Howard, who owned the restaurant, was like Billy's corner man, for all these fights. It was fun writing that thing on.
Is this coming out tomorrow?
It's on the line now.
Okay, gotcha.
I think it's going to be in print, but it's pretty good because it's just. And his wife was this wife that he romanced and convinced to marry him was a flight attendant. Gretchen Creswell was her name when she died. And they had a picture with her obit of her as a flight attendant. You can see why Billy wouldn't leave her alone until she married him because she's gorgeous. But what a beauty. I could never figure out why people liked the guy. He was just a bum. But Howard was loyal to him till the end. And Howard would always defend him from the fights. They get all the fight. He'd say, the guy was being a jerk to Billy, So anyway, that was kind of fun writing that thing.
Love it. Star Tribune. Go check it out. StarTribune.com.
So how about Rudy? Rudy showed up last night.
Rudy had, and the fans forgave Rudy for calling them out a few weeks ago. They were chanting Rudy. First time fans have chanted Rudy since the 70s. At Notre Dame Stadium, I think.
My favorite thing, I was up in St. Cloud. I was driving home during a game, and and Horton and the Wolves were frittering away that big lead. They got outscored like 30-12 or something. And listening to Horton when he's disgusted with, it's the best radio listening in the Twin Cities. The Lone Ranger, poor Alan Horton, watching them urinate away another game in the middle of the thing. He's not, he's not a rampant homer. He'll rip the hell out of him, but he's funny. I love that guy. I
just envision poor Alan, he's been alone for 10 years, every broadcast. I can envision him just like shoulders slumped, going to the hotel on the road alone.
The last 2 years were his first two playoff. I mean, the Tibbs year, and then this were his first ever playoff games. Right? They didn't last long, but he was. But he never was in on. I think his first year was at the end of the Garnett thing, the year after the Garnett thing, right?
I believe so. So Chad Hartman called the 8-year playoff run.
Yeah.
Right?
So poor Alan, but God, he's good. I love him. It's like he doesn't get disconsolate. He gets disgusted.
He does.
His disgust is what I want, though. Like that's what you want. So like
Yes.
if you root for the team, I have no problem with that. If you then turn on them when they play like crap.
Yeah. That's true. But he's very good all by himself, and it's a great way to be going 75 miles an hour down 94 with no traffic and listening to Alan. you get back at about a quarter now from St. Cloud. It's so fast, but it was a great run last week just because I could listen to him last night, just because I could listen to Horton.
Yes. Well, the Wolves, by the way, they're back to 500. They are still the 11 seed in the Western Conference, but they're only 4 games out of the 1 seed.
And by the way, Canada, last night, Toronto, the Lakers are coming to town, Toronto. Fill your arena. Davis and LeBron don't play.
Yeah.
The NBA should not be able to get away with this. They should not be able to get away with this. It's the Golden State had a game a couple of weeks ago when none of them played. Right, their top 4 didn't play. It's amazing what the way they screw the fans. Hey, the Lakers are coming to town. Let's get tickets. I'll give you a double for your tickets. LeBron's taking the night off again, and Davis isn't playing either. So it's awful.
Not exactly a team buried in the standings that can afford to just do load management days for their stars.
Our Vikings? Is anybody with the Vikings disgusted that they're getting no respect because they're 10-2 and they're under 1.5?
I think the Vikings love it. Like the Vikings themselves love it because they can every week there's new bulletin board material.
Oh, yeah.
I think some fans are mad that, like Purple Daily listeners are mad that national people don't give them more respect, but. Mm-hmm. I don't think that matters. Just go keep winning, and you'll twist people's arms into giving you respect.
They beat Detroit. They're going to go 15-2. They have to get some respect.
This is their hardest game left on the schedule.
Yes, it is.
Bunch of guys sick though.
Huh?
Bunch of guys miss practice with illnesses. C.J. Ham, Daniil Hunter, Patrick Peterson, Harrison Smith.
What do you think of our?
We got a flu bug.
Yeah. Okay. I almost put out just to get the righties all stirred up when Thielen won whatever, got nominated for whatever that award was.
Oh, man of the year.
Should we really be doing this with a non-vaxxer? That would have driven them crazy, wouldn't it?
I think you should write a column and see what happens in the comment section.
You should see the reaction to all the comments on the Brittany Griner. Well, leave her there. Get the FBI guy. She broke Russian law. She should still be there. They wouldn't give you the FBI guy, okay, because they think he's a spy. So the Marine Whalen, but there are people mad at her because she didn't stand up for the anthem and she didn't do that. So leave her rot in a Russian jail. What a bunch of beauties we have out there, man.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of experts on Twitter in international negotiations this morning.
Yes, they are. Well,
so
I'm glad she's out because she's that should have been about a 15-day offense, right? Instead of what year was she in there?
9 months or something? Yeah, it was. Yes. So, Pat, we got to get to a scoop session here with Doogie so he can tell us how close the Twins have gotten on all these free agents.
I'm listening. What time can I listen to it?
Should be posted early afternoon, late morning.
I want to hear who we didn't sign but damn near did. Come on, let's go.
Stack the list. All right, Pat, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, wrapping with Royce here, Mackey and Judd.